first of all, let us just revise the concept of database connectivity, right? So we have something called JDBC API in the middle. It is acting as our mediator, and this JDBC API contains what? It contains interfaces in a package called java.sql, right? So in our Java code, we are making use of the interfaces and methods of those interfaces from this particular package, right? Example is we are making use of driver manager, dot get connection method, as well as we write connection object dot create statement method, okay, as well as statement object dot execute type of a method. Okay, there are so many execute methods. All of these are different methods. So these methods are coming from where? They are coming from java.sql package, which is nothing but JDBC API. Okay. Then what happens on the right side? Let us imagine our database. Okay. Imagine our database, and this database is MySQL database. Okay. And MySQL database has provided their own implementation of these API interfaces. Okay, so now let us imagine the implementation like some kind of this. Okay, in this there are classes, and they are available in com.mysql.cj and other packages internally. Okay, so this com.mysql.cj package is coming from our connector jar file. Okay, so when we add connector jar file into our project, then in that we will find all the classes. And what is happening actually is when we run these methods, okay, when we run this method, okay, this method is available in JDBC API, and that JDBC API method is internally making a call to the implementation classes that are provided by this package by MySQL, and in that method is getting executed. And when that method is getting executed, it is sending a request to MySQL database. Okay, it is sending a request to the MySQL database, and then MySQL database, its job is to just run the query. Okay, so it is running the query, and once the query is executed, it is returning a response. Okay, it is returning a response, and that response is received by the method implementation available in our connector, in our MySQL implementation, and that method returns basically the data back to our Java code. Now, yes, I agree that this whole process of sending and receiving is happening in just one single method call. Okay, it is just one single method call. This get connection method call is what it is doing. It is sending a request to the database, and database, it is sending a response back saying that connection is established. Okay, but if you are making any mistake, then it will give an error saying that the connection is not established. Okay, which is an SQL exception. It raises an SQL exception if you are making a mistake. One example of making a mistake is, suppose that you are writing that URL, right? You are writing URL, and in that URL we are starting from JDBC:MySQL as the protocol. Okay, but suppose that you forgot and you wrote it as MySQL:JDBC, suppose. Okay, then it is an error. It is a wrong protocol, so it will give SQL exception. Suppose that you are writing localhost: some port number, and default port number is 3306, and you put 3306, but maybe in your system at the time of installation you changed the port number. Then if that port number and this port number is not matching, you will get an SQL exception. In the same way, suppose that you are writing your database name, and that database name does not exist in your server. That database does not exist in your server. Then you will get an SQL exception, and so on. Right? So every time your request cannot be processed in the MySQL database, it gives an error, and that error is shown in our Java program as SQL exception. Clear? This is the basic structure of how the JDBC code is running. Clear? Understood?